Hi guys. Today we're gonna talk about doing the work, okay? It's very pretty today and it feels really nice and it's very cold. It's not cold, it's cool. It's very cool. Anyway, this video is like a continuation of the avoidance video I did a couple of days ago. It's what to do once you decide that you're not going to avoid doing the work, okay? Because the magic is in the work you're trying to avoid. You have to do the work, okay? You have to. You don't have any other choice. You have to sit down, you have to show up, you have to punch in, you do the reps, you do the work, okay? One day, you look around you and you're free. You just need to do this once. You owe it to yourself to finally put this thing to bed and not have to be rattling inside your head and disturbing your peace. This guy, Alain de Botton, this brilliant philosopher that wrote a whole bunch of books, he puts it this way. He says, think about when you were very little, you learned English. Like you learned the English language from the people that were close to you, the people around you. I learned the Romanian language. Two different environments. We learned an entire complicated language with syntax, grammar, vocabulary, everything. How did we do that? It was pretty easy, wasn't it? We didn't have to study at all. We just observe it subconsciously. And we had no idea, right? At the same time that we learn this language, we learn an emotional language. Not with words, but a language about trust, a language about safety, a language about self-esteem, a language about who we are with somebody. And it's the same as the language that we learn, but it was like subconscious, right? It's the same as you learn English and I learn Romanian. We learn this emotional language of how we are and how we should treat people, okay? We have no idea how we learned that, right? But you know that we did. Now that we're adults, we need to figure out that emotional language and give it words. We need to do some digging and go into like our subconsciousness. We have to do this work to actually understand ourselves. When I asked my amazing psychologist what he would have done if he wasn't a psychologist, he said he would have been an archaeologist. That's what you need to be, an archaeologist for your own mind. All of us go to our graves with the most experience locked inside of us. Think about it as like a human being a book. And when we die, the book goes into the ground or gets burned. And sometimes very tiny corners of pages get saved, okay? These are the stories that we know about ourselves. You need to document what you're going through, okay? You need to let others know your experiences. How do you do that? You need to know yourself. You are the voice of your generation. You get your shit together and get healthy so you can be a leader, okay? You've neglected yourself enough through shame, through embarrassment, through all kinds of habits, drugs, whatever. Whatever gets in your way of having an honest dialogue with yourself. Why? Because it's risky to stay sober and look at yourself and ask some questions. So we would rather not, right? And we just keep going and going and doing the same thing. We repeat what we don't understand. So, I think we're good. Why not do the work so we can understand ourselves? You have to be attentive to your sensations and your thoughts. Where are you? Right there. If you keep doing drugs and you doom scroll all day on your phone, you numb yourself with Netflix or games or sex or even work, okay? If you're an alcoholic, you know, you keep busy and you're lost. Like your mind is not with you and it's hard to be with yourself, okay? You can't be alone with yourself. If you attend to your own mind and pay attention to your body, what your body is telling you, and ask questions, and you feel your sensations, if you ask yourself stuff like, who am I angry with? What makes me happy? What really happened? Because you know what? We are not obvious to ourselves. And just like I said in my avoidance video the other day, disease is just stored emotions that haven't found a way out. Your emotions that haven't been processed turn into cancer and depression and obesity. And most of all, it keeps us small. We should know everybody's broken, okay? We all doing the best here. Being interested in knowing your flaws and being curious is the key. We don't need to be perfect here. We just need to know how we are imperfect. That way we can warn other people of our imperfection before we can do damage to them. And mostly we could do damage to ourselves, right? Because knowing what's wrong with you makes you aware of it, so you can put some flags around and warn others. Self-awareness is knowing that it's knowing what's going on with you, okay? And when knowing what's going on makes it possible for you to know who you are. And you need to know who you are because everybody else can detect who you are. Remember my first video? I talked about the Aesop fable and I said it's easier for other people to see your faults. It's harder for you to see your own faults, but it's easier for you to see other people's faults. Because who you are is right here. Is right here. And everybody else can tell. If you believe you're a loser, the empathetic circuits of other people's brains will detect that in you and will treat you like a loser. If you carry yourself, you know, with respect, then people will respect you, okay? That's why you keep doing the same thing, okay? And keep failing until you change. When your sense of identity changes, then your future will change because you just don't see the world as it is. You see the world as you are. Your mind creates your reality. And if you don't know your hardware, you'll be stuck doing the same thing over and over. This is why your job is to understand who you are. Know what you like, what you don't like, what shaped your experiences, what molded you, you know, why do you believe what you believe? This is what the work is about, okay? Once you stop the distractions and start to feel what's inside yourself, you'll begin to feel better. You need to work with the body and the subconscious mind. And do the opposite action of what fear and your ego is telling you to do, okay? And it takes a lot of effort at first, but with a lot of practice, it'll get easier. Trust me, I know. This work will move you from where you are right now to where you want to be, okay? So nice. Okay, with that, don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat, and don't kill any insects today. Mwah, 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 mwah.